Everyone wants to win. In racing, it's the end goal, come home first. But it always seems to mean something a bit different depending on who you're up against. So when the best of the best come out of the woodwork to face off, suddenly the stakes get that much higher. Today we do just that and bring the best of the world together on an oval. We'll see who will get to call themselves the greatest racer on the globe as we get ready to watch the 2018 Majors All-Star Race. And you'll see it all live here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Hi, I'm Joe Peak, and with me in the booth, as always, is Bill Soup Zahn. Joining us is our resident NASCAR expert, Sean Ambrose. Behind the scenes is our director, the Dr. Amjad Yaman, and he's using cameras provided by Ducky Beard. Sean, Charlotte is often called NASCAR's backyard because of how many teams are based here. So while our Oval fans might know a lot about this track, why don't you introduce the rest of us to the circuit?
I will be happy to do that, Joe. And, they built it in 1959. By the current chairman and NASCAR Hall of Fame inductee, Bruton Smith. And Bruton's been around for a long time, built a lot of tracks, including Texas Motor Speedway here in the great state of Texas. But, on June 19th of 1960, the first World 600 was contested at this facility. And, in addition to this 1.5 mile quad oval, the Charlotte Motor Speedway complex includes a 2.25 newly redesigned road course. In fact, I'm not even sure that's the correct mileage on that now. I think they may have extended it just a little bit, and they've got a karting layout in the infield and quarter-mile asphalt oval using part of the Speedway's front stretch. They run Legends cars and Bandoleros down there. But, since its opening in 1960, it has established itself as the greatest place to see the race. Right now, you get the chance to see it right here with a GSRC lap guide.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Brian Yazek. This is the GSRC Chevrolet SS and this is Charlotte Motor Speedway. Fun little 1.5 mile oval, legendary, and does not need an introduction if you're a fan of NASCAR. So for your hot lap, swinging it real wide through the dogleg, going back down here into turn one, off the gas a little bit, rolling back into the throttle. If you go back into it too hard, that sign right there on the wall is going to be waiting for you and knock the whole right front right off of the car. Turns 3 and 4, your braking marker. Some can drive it a little deeper. I prefer to let off right about where the dotted lines end. It really seems to let the car get a good set and a good bite into the corner. So, Charlotte, as the run progresses, you might see guys in 1 and 2 only venture way up here into this second and third groove. If it's the daytime, you'll see this. Nighttime, maybe not so much. But you get a great hole shot down the back stretch and you can really set yourself up for a good pass going here into turn 3. Turn 3 doesn't quite have the same level of banking or the same grip level, and the high groove just, no matter how hard you try, never comes in. So swinging it down here through the quad oval, completing your line, and that will also complete our track guide around Charlotte Motor Speedway. I'm Brian Yazek. Enjoy the show.
Taking us around, of course, the ever-fast Charlotte Speedway and the Gen 6 Cup car here. But, Bill, as the drivers warm up, any of our fans that are expecting an interesting championship round might be a little bit disappointed today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what the All-Star race involves?
Yeah, as you look there at our graphic, it's an exhibition race only. Now, who's here today? Well, it's the top drivers from all 4 regions in the majors. Now, the regions aren't really, you're not locked in by your location. It's really more about your sleep cycle. If you're a milkman or maybe a baker or a cat burglar, maybe one of the other regions on the other side of the globe might be better for your sleep cycle there. So you can pick where you want to race from. So it's not really about nationality. It's more about what's convenient for me. The cars we're going to be racing here today, of course, it's the NASCAR Gen 6 cars. The setups are open as usual. Now, how far are we going? 70 laps. It's a short one. There are no segments. It's a 70-lap sprint. Fuel, you can go about 55 laps. Don't expect them to go that far, though. Tires are going to give up well before the fuel does. Hey, incident caps. There's no incident caps today. This is a special race. They're going to let them bang up as much as they want. And spare car, well, you get one of those. Now, what are they racing for? This is the important part. They are getting 100 $1 discount coupons. Now, you take these any place, anywhere around the globe, and you will get $1 off the product or service price. Take it to your bank, and they will credit your account equal to the number of coupons you present. I like to go to the 99-cent store. I can get anything there for free, plus a complimentary mini copper Abe Lincoln medallion. I have a few of these in my wallet. They're pretty colors. They're a shade of green with the image of the American's first president on it. You know, the U.S. Mint, they're not a sponsor, but I do like what they do there. I recommend that you get some of these $1 coupons. And if you win the race today, the winner's going to get 100 of these. So they're racing for pride and for some prizes.
Sometimes I wish I could see inside the mind of Bill Zahn.
Wow. Wow. Stunned.
Sean, let's talk about what they're up against with this track and this car combo. Though we've seen a bit of racing here lately with some of the other leagues we've covered, and from what I've seen in the chat pre-race, it sounds like there's some difficulties. Particularly, Turn 4 seems to have caught a lot of even the best drivers out.
Well, Joe, it always does, and especially in this Cup car. First of all, you're carrying a lot of speed through turns 3 and 4, and you're somewhere in between that sweet spot of about 155 to 160 miles an hour barreling through there, and then you've got to get back to the throttle, get that to pick up. Well, there's a bit of a rise in the track in the upper groove as you come off of 4 there that really, really gets the car light over it. And when that happens, the rear end always has a tendency to want to push out, slap that wall as it's leaving the exit, and that can generally wreak havoc for not just you, but anybody that's around you. Anybody else that's trying to navigate their way off of 4 are probably going to get caught up in your mess, and that's generally where we see most of the trouble here at Charlotte.
Well, I think, speaking of navigating, Blake Reynolds is having some trouble there in the infield. I'm not sure how he even got in there, for one thing, but he's circling what looks like the hot dog stand right now. So
trying to find his garage or what? No, he's not even over the garage. All right.
Like the Daytona 24, where one of the drivers found themselves on the access roads and got lost amongst the fans. So now, Bill, one of the things besides just personal pride out here that these guys are fighting for is regional pride, obviously, since it's taking the top drivers from each of the 4 regions that compete here in the majors. Now, my question to you, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here. Who do you think is going to be the best performing region? Because, I mean, there's some obvious choices, but I feel like it's thrown into a loop when you take into account the European region probably has a lot of Finns.
Yeah. Now, remember, this series started as the Pacific Majors, and then it branched out from there. So, obviously, the Pacific region is still it's the mothership of what's going on. They have the most entrants here today. I really think that the Atlantic region has a shot, and Europe has a shot too. Now, remember, the top drivers are coming in. But if you're looking for a Rudy, if you're looking for the underdog, you might want to consider the international guys. Look for some of the big guys to be sweeping the leg. But I like some of the international guys here. Have a chat of this one. Even though they're the underdog, there are not a lot of them. I like what's going on there. But Pacific, clearly the favorites.
Pacific, and I believe in the international region too. I need to confirm this because I might be wrong. But the international region has one of the big teams that has showed up. That is that Workiva team, of course. And Sean, boy, I mean, we saw that they were really making themselves a force in the first few races. And then in the last round at the Nürburgring, they had a stunning result, and they are clearly showing up ready today.
Yeah, Joe, I would definitely consider them they're hot right now. I'd consider them a favorite to do anything. So they could be big contenders today. If going back to what Soup was talking about, you want to give the edge to the Pacific, but tap the brake on that. There are a couple guys here not in that Pacific region that I think are legitimate contenders to take down a victory here at Charlotte Motor Speedway that are pretty solid on the oval. One of them being Kurt Crum, and we haven't talked about him at all, but he'll be running a number 7 today from the Atlantic region there. And I tell you what, Crum, I think maybe one of those drivers we should probably keep an eye on today. He's been pretty good in practice, and you know what? This is going to come down to strategy with only 70 laps in this one today, Joe.
And Sean, just to follow up, there's no really teams here today, but one of the teams that we have to keep an eye on are the guys from Kinetic Racing. Now, they have guys represented in 3 different regions here. They got John King and Jake Fox. Those guys are from the International. Then they have Vincent Leabert from the Pacific. He's a Canadian driver racing. And then they have one more from the Atlantic region. So actually, they have 5 guys in the races here today. They have Eddie Hawks from the Atlantic section, and then they also have Christian Challenger. So those kinetic guys, they're tough. They are well spread out.
Certainly are. Now, on screen, we saw Blake Reynolds for a little bit. He should be starting on the pole. And I don't know if our viewers noticed, Sean, but he's got a little bit of a special paint scheme. And I'm really glad to see the Riding Shotgun team sporting these colors for both this race and for the World 600, which is taking place tomorrow. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about Mission 22 that's on there?
Yep, Joe, I do. Yeah, this is the hashtag Mission 22 colors in their honor to raise awareness. Every day an estimated 22 veterans take their own life. And for the majors, Sarge's Place World 600 this Sunday, and today in the All-Star race, Riding Shotgun Motorsports will be flying these colors in honor and to raise awareness with their annual patriotic paint scheme. And they want to encourage everybody to check them out at www.mission22, that's 22, mission22.com. You can learn more about them. And for every lap an RSM car completes, they'll be donating 5 cents. So hopefully that 5 cents will add up in a hurry, Joe. And, well, let's face it, Riding Shotgun Motorsports, they're awful competitive in any race we ever see. And I will tell you, on the road side, they're about as competitive as they get here in iRacing.
And I think
Blake the oval. I meant the oval side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Blake realized that he was on screen there, so just was having some fun. Now, the car that we just saw go by, that number 77, Jason Fleischle, former champion in this series. One thing that we should point out is his team is really the other big one in this all-star race that has kind of been flagged by a lot of people as one to watch out for. Alliance been a known factor in this series for a number of seasons, and no doubt they will be a factor here today. Now, the weird thing that you found out about Fleischle today, Sean, is his license level on the roadside.
Not very good. He's horrible on ovals, Joe. No, the truth is he just doesn't run them. I think we said
not officially, at least.
No, he doesn't have an official race. So here he sits with a base level. This is what you get when you enter iRacing. You get a rookie 2.50 badge and 1,350 iRacing points. And that is where Jason Fleischle sits. Amazing.
We watch Jake Fox work his way around, another one of the Kinetic International drivers showing up here today. Blake Reynolds putting in the fastest lap of warm-up out there right now that the track has cooled off during the drivers meeting that they had, and he's out there on fresh tires. Just about a minute left to go. We already heard Crum being one of the drivers that Sean is looking out for. What about you, Bill? I mean, I think I know the obvious answer, but who are you kind of picking as a possible winner today?
I think Blake Reynolds is the clear favorite, though. I like Jake Fox. I want to watch out for him. He had a nice, fast qualifying run. He's from the international region. Look for him. He's in the 08 machine. Now, there is no qualifying here today because it's all set up by their point standings where you are in your region. So if you're at the top of each region, they see them 1, 1, 1, 1, and then they go to the next one 2, 2, 2, 2, and they go all the way through the field. Christian Challenger are also very good as well.
Absolutely. Well, we saw that in one of the oval rounds there at Phoenix, round 2 in the majors. And the way that they split the tie for the 1s and the 2s and the 3s and so on down is that it is by points you have accumulated. So that's why Blake Reynolds got the pole, because he has the most points of anybody who are leading their championship in their regions. Clock continues to tick down. We're getting ready to go racing for the All-Star race here in the majors. All 4 regions in one. Some severe bragging rights on the line here at Charlotte Motor Speedway as the checkered flag comes out on the warm-up, getting ready to go through the starting grid here as we wait for those stats to come up for us. So on the pole, we are going to see Blake Reynolds, as we mentioned, with Antti Pelaja starting in second. John King will begin the race in third, and then row 2 is completed by Mike Kelly. Jason Fleischle will begin in P5 with Stephen Baxter in 6th. Jake Fox starts 7th. Brandon Whitworth starts 8th. Vincent Laherbier in 9th. And Thomas Peterson in 10th. Bill?
Then we get down into 11th. It's Peter Herod. Timo Toika in the 12th position. Baker's dozen spot, that's Joshua Kanata. Adam McLeod in the 14th position. 15th is the aforementioned Christian Challenger. All ribbons and curls in the 16th position. It's Marcos Niskanen. Carl Burke in 17th. 18th, 19th, and 20th goes to Marco Pennington. Little Train, Lionel Callisto, and Eddie Hawks.
All right, Soup. And then hitting blackjack today, David Barraclaw in the 555 will start 21st. Matthew Thunhorse will complete row 11. Row 12, Andy Banfield, Jimbo Pfeiffer. Row 13, Kurt Crum and David Baker. Row 14, why me, Kevin O'Keefe, 27. Joshua Howland Wolf, 28th. 29th, going to go to Brian Barnes. 30th, Andrei Rajkovic, there we go, I got it right. And 31st, Mark Herzog. Ray Partridge going to complete the 32-car field here in the Majors All-Star Challenge.
Glad to see Partridge getting to represent Dog Bear. They are known for their oval prowess as well. So only one pace lap here, with it being over a mile oval. The Mustang pace car is now taking them into turn 3. We're going to get a good idea of where everybody sits once that green flag falls. Then we have 70 laps of racing to decide who is the best of the best. Pace car now coming off of 4. Going to peel away into the pit lane. Blake Reynolds will have control of the field. And he waits patiently. He accelerates away as soon as he gets the green flag. Gets a great jump on Antti. Already slotting single file for our top 4. Still side by side a little bit farther down though, Bill.
What's interesting is we're so used to seeing these drivers race against other drivers they're familiar with all the cross-pollination going on. It might be a little bit of a learning curve. A little trust has to be set up before they start to race really close. They start to spread out a bit.
And indeed, it looks to me, Sean, that everybody's kind of taking it easy here at the start to get used to one another from what I'm seeing. Because they were all mixed up. Every region is next to one another based on how the qualifying works out.
Yeah, I saw a couple guys on the start kind of back out of it a little bit, actually, once the traffic started to separate a little bit. Just easing up, like you said there, Joe. At the very back, cars still trying to get into their groove. Some comfortable on the high side, some trying to make a move down on the bottom. Already crashed on the backstretch.
Oh,
Kevin O'Keefe and Crum.
No caution, unfortunately, for both of those guys. And that was coming off of 4. It looks like O'Keefe drifted a little bit up, and Crum was there. Didn't realize it. Both of them sent to the barriers.
Kevin O'Keefe is trying to get a yellow flag to come out as he's done a couple donuts trying to get the car going straight. With the 629, he did it off the racing line. You stay under yellow, and under green, he's going to pull a lap down.
And man, look what Blake Reynolds has done already, Joe. Man, he's screaming away from the field already a second and a half.
Whew, that is a big gap on an oval.
Yeah.
Now, earlier before that incident, we did see...
hang on. Brandon Wentworth having trouble down on the bottom. That was coming out of turn 2. The whole field going by him.
Ooh, that was a lone incident as he got below the apron. That number 377 managed to catch it, but not without losing a boatload of positions. Watch this. Great job from that black and yellow car behind him to check up just in time and get around him.
If he wrecks that car, JG is not going to be happy.
Oh, I saw someone up on screen there drifting a little high. That was the number 4.
That's that beautiful fluorescent blue of Brian Barnes, but not in the popsicle machine today. I'm a little disappointed.
Well, he's got some patriotism going. He's representing the Northwest, where he's from, where everything started. So I think that's why we're seeing that on there today. He's currently running in 20th position pretty solidly in the mid-pack as he goes around the high side of Brandon Whitworth. And I think if he can get this done, it sounds like Fox, though,
He
having
is.
some issues.
He's dropping like a rock, man. Challenger got by him and dropped. So did Toyka, and Fox is having trouble recovering from it. Ooh, he's up there in a wall almost. Now, the battle in front of him is intense, though.
Absolutely. This is
Challenger
for
in the
sixth
thick of that.
position. LaHerbier up at the front. Baxter in there. Oh, as he almost gets into the back of LaHerbier. The Canadian's going to survive. Toyka at the back of him now as Challenger swings up the inside. I'm surprised we're not seeing Challenger a little higher up at this point as he takes another position possibly. He runs the low side through 3 and 4.
Joe, to his credit, he just picked up his 8th spot. So, I mean, he's moving. He just didn't get to start up front today.
Where is it?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Barnes, Callisto, and Challenger are the guys that are moving. Barnes is up 9.
There is admittedly a lot of movement out there. I've seen drivers swapping positions left and right on my timed in scoring, which surprises me, but I guess it is a bit of a sprint race, so you got to move when you can. Meanwhile, up at the front, look at this. Both Pelagia and Kelly starting to close in, but more so that number 3 on the number 37.
Yeah, Reynolds, well, really, there's no reason for Reynolds to build up a 5-second lead. It's not going to help him anymore. He just wants to be out in front, just going to use up your tires. We're going to see a lot of cars coming and going here. And remember, qualifying, how their grid is not based on how fast they are. It's based on how their season has been going so far. So that's why I think we're going to see a lot of guys coming through the field and a lot of guys dropping, because they're not really out there positioned by how quick they are today.
Been clean racing so far in these first 10 laps as we watch this battle for second. Interesting different lines between the two drivers, Sean. Now, this is an open setup series. Is that kind of determined by how you set up the car? Can you set it up for being more of a mid-level runner?
Absolutely. Yes, you can make spring and shock adjustments that allow you to put that car wherever you're comfortable on this track. And that's a big thing for drivers here. Some like to drive it right down on that white line, like we see Pelagia doing right now, and they're comfortable down there. I'm sorry, it's Kelly down on the bottom. My bad. I'm in the wrong spot there. But Kelly looks very, very comfortable down there on the bottom. And that has everything to do with the setup and how long you can keep it down there. Of course, now, whenever you ride down on that bottom, Joe, you got to be careful of burning up that right front. And that's something that's all part of setup as well.
Boy, he had a great run on the front stretch last time around. And like you said, tried to hold it down to the low side. Just can't seem to get the momentum off the corner like the Finn is doing. Let's see if this is a repeat of last time. And indeed, look at that, 37 just shooting off the top side, holding on to that second, much to the frustration of Kelly.
Man, on the backstretch, tremendous run for Matthew Thunhorst as he got by Eddie Hawks and Marco Pentinen. Now he's got his sights set here on Stephen Baxter's suit.
Yeah, he has been making a good run, as have a lot of these guys.
We talked about those two top teams, Thunhorst for Alliance, Hawks for Orkiva, and Thunhorst getting pinched down a little bit. That's going to hurt his momentum as he continues to try and get the number 88 to go behind him. Through 3 and 4, still working that low line. Hawks seeing if he can ride his way through and get the spot as well, but they are stuck side by side. This is a battle for 10th position. Oh, drifts up a little bit. The number 98 has to keep it down to keep out of the 888. Baxter just making sure that number 98 is stuck exactly where he is.
Eventually, this is going to pay off for the 888 cars. He's going to should be able to race up top a little longer without abusing his tires. And
I think
he's really working, and I think maybe now he's going to have to give it up.
I'll tell you this, right now we speculated in the pre-race if it would be a battle between the Pacific region and the European region. Well, you're getting your answer right now at the very front of the field and right here in this battle for 10th.
Wow, things heated up. Look at that beautiful move by Thunhorse to get that car up to the high side, carried the speed off of it. Now to the number 46 of Hawks, has to slow it up as he almost gets into the back of Baxter. And the number 98 shoots out of a cannon and leaves everybody in the dust with that move.
Yeah, now Hawks is going to look to the bottom, stick it down there. He's going to back out of it. Now he's getting a little bit of a run. Got to keep it down there. He's able to do it. That car still sticking to the bottom of the track really well, Joe, as they head to one.
And understand Fleischle is having a little bit of problems keeping up with the top guys. He's already lost the spot to Christian Challenger, who's already now looking on third place, getting himself onto the podium with a decisive move into 3. This is the driver we've seen been able to hassle Blake Reynolds for most of the oval rounds so far this season. Now let's watch the replay. Look at this. Nose in, just makes it look easy. And he's already, while on that replay, he's already taken second away from Pelagia.
Yeah. Pelagia getting just a little bit of the wall as he was getting out of turn 2. Yeah.
I was thinning the car up. And that's made a battle erupt here for third now. Remember, we saw Mike Kelly trying to get past him. Oh, Kelly with a big wiggle.
Oh, boy.
Well, he was in a side-by-side battle, but now he's more concerned about his own car. Boy, that number 3 almost went for a ride. So, as I was mentioning earlier, Challenger, the driver who's most been able to challenge Blake Reynolds. Lap times, taking a look at Challenger, 29.7, 29.7, 29.9, 29.9. Now, those last 2 laps he had to get position, so I think those 29.7s probably more representative of his pace. Here's the things, though, Sean. I'm looking at Reynolds, 30 flat, 31, 30 flat, 30.3. Challenger is coming.
Yeah, and we're going to get a great battle between 2 pretty evenly matched drivers on the road side, Joe. Both of them have the pro stripe and on the oval side, and their iRating's very, very close. Lots of experience for both of them. I'll tell you, it's going to be a great battle, and honestly, Joe, at the rate he's getting there, it's going to be long before any pit stops, so they could go at it for a little bit. I guess it's going to be a test of who has the better line and better tires during their run. We're starting to find out a little bit about that now with 20 laps on these tires now.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, including the number 3, who we're seeing getting overtaken because Vincent Leherbier for that Workiva team is sliding through to get himself up into 4th. I think Mike Kelly maybe burned his stuff up.
I think we're only about 13 laps away till these guys are going to come in. That'll be the halfway mark. There's a real chance this thing could go green all the way. If you were going to do it on one stop, you'd want to split it up evenly.
Now John King, the number 6, taking a look on Kelly. Trying to keep the car down low. We've seen that low side very difficult to keep the momentum up, and he's proven it yet again as the 3 is going to not deny him, at least for now.
You know, Joe, for our leader, Blake Reynolds, and Christian Challenger, the man chasing him, it's going to be nothing but traffic up in front of him right now. And Adam McLeod just got into the wall right in front of Challenger. As Challenger is coming off of 4, McLeod a little bit slower, and he's going to kind of be in the line here, getting into 1. Does a good job of getting out of the way.
Yeah, Reynolds stays low. Not any real issue. He has to drift up mid-corner to keep the car together. So we're going to look at a replay here.
Yeah, and
Oh, sorry.
We're back live. There we go.
Oh, and Leherbier is well on the move because he's now overtaken Pelagia. We're seeing a lot of cars who were up at the front slowly start to move backwards down the grid. Reynolds is being caught. Pelagia, who was running second most of the thing, is now down to 4th. Kelly is down to 5th. Fleischle, who was up there, is all the way down in 8th. And it has been green flag running since the start. I think any of the drivers who maybe set themselves up for a short run is regretting it. Now, King is slow. What happened here? Did he catch the wall? Oh, no, he caught the other end. He caught the apron. Look at this. It was already getting a little bit loose, and by the time he caught the car, it was heading down to the bottom of the track. That cost him a number of spots. He slips back to 10th.
But he saved his race car, Joe.
Critical thing out here. Boy, are we going to see a green flag run from beginning to end in this race?
Listen, this is the best of the best in the
The All-Stars, buddy, yeah.
Yeah, it's the All-Stars. And, boy, they're driving it like a bunch of All-Stars right now. Here comes the battle for the lead. Yeah, guys.
Number 78 has spent a long time not just running through the field, but running down Blake Reynolds, the number 66, under threat now. The most winningest driver we've seen in the major series is looking like he might lose the lead. Here comes Challenger, rocking up to the rear spoiler. He does not make an immediate tack. He bides his time. Again, both of these drivers pro level on the oval side, which might surprise some since Challenger is a UK&I driver.
I'm really surprised.
Sorry, Bill. Blake got a little bit of the wall down the middle of the backstretch right there. I think he got it a little bit too close. Challenger right on the bumper now, coming out of 4.
Loose for Blake Reynolds. He tries to hold on to it. He smacks the wall. It's still loose. He's still trying to gather it together. And it comes around on him. Maybe it's still going back and forth. Coming down into 1. I think he's finally got it. No, he is not. It is still drifting. That car is all sorts of wrong now. Has he got to take it down to the low side? He's still holding on to it.
My.
And the caution is out. Something else happened lower down, and that is Brandon Whitworth involved.
Jake Fox.
Oh,
no.
Get to it in a second. We're going to watch on board Blake first. It's the first caution of the day. This was all by himself. Car just got loose, and he ran out of track, Sean.
Yeah, Joe, I just couldn't get it to recover. So much horsepower in this car. When she starts to go, she goes, and just couldn't get it back together.
In a very similar move, Barraclaw was the first one to start to lose it in the incident that brought out the yellow. We're going to watch him. This is on the front stretch. Now, I was actually separate from, I think I'm seeing, from Fox.
Yep. Might have got his taken his attention away from what was going on.
This is, here we go. This is Fox looking, just clattering through the infield, hits the inside, and, poor Whitworth had no place to go.
Yeah, and he's a lot of cars are going to get a piece of this as they're coming through here, Joe.
Now, as this is happening, cars are into the pits. No surprise here. I think everybody is going to be coming in.
Now, Blake Reynolds' car was obviously beginning to go away on as we look at the replay. Remember, there is a spare car that you guys can pick up, so the field will still be full. And with 40 laps to go, they can go the distance from here. Sean, this will be a case of, with 40 to go, how fast can I go, but how careful can I be to the tires?
Well, maybe this is what the race needed, was a yellow flag to let them come in and get right at about halfway, get their stops in, and then go for another green flag run right to the checkers.
But if we think about it, not only saw Reynolds, we saw Fox, we saw Barraclaw all almost about the same time start to lose control coming off of 4. Very clearly, I'd say that the tires were hitting their limit here around lap 30, the pace that these guys are running. So 40 laps, I think if I was out there, I'd be planning on one more stop before this was over.
I think it's safe to say that Blake would probably tell you that they had fallen off the cliff. I mean, honestly, that was one of the great saves I've ever seen here on the iRacing service.
Did he ever really save it?
Well, okay, that's debatable, but yeah.
Boy, he almost did an entire lap with it fishtailing on him. That's what astounded me. Like 4 or 5 times I thought he had it caught. So, with that, your order after the pit stops. Challenger leads. Reynolds down to second, obviously, with his issues. LaHerbier up into third, interestingly. Anti-Balajas held on to fourth, and the top five rounded out by last season's champion, Little Train Callisto.
Choo-choo.
The majors offers a lot of categories. They have their drivers championship, their team championship, their sportsman's class, and their legends class. Today we also have the animal class, so let me run that down for you right now. In 11th, leading the animals, it is Eddie Hawks. He's one position up ahead of Joshua Wolf. Now, Wolf has 3 spots before he gets to Ray Partridge, and unfortunately, Jake Fox is well down the order in 30th. So there you have the animal category today.
We were having a little fun with that before the broadcast started, as we noted how many of them seem to play into that. We've managed to avoid most of the jokes so far, but I'm sure they'll come eventually.
Get them all out all at once. That's what's my plan there.
There you go. All right, are we going too wide this time? Yes, lights are off, getting double file. Going to restart with 34 laps on the ticker. It has been a fascinating race, somewhat helped by, as Bill mentioned, the grid determined by points position and not outright pace has certainly caused some drivers to have to climb through the field, others to have to defend their position. But we've seen what we typically see, the top drivers coming up to the top. And interestingly, I see a lot of green from Orkiva and a lot of yellow of Alliance filling that top 10.
I think that long green flag run now has got everybody pretty much in the order that they're racing. We got the cream coming up to the top. And my goodness, a lot of Pacific drivers up there. Antipahaha in, 4th position there for the Internationals, doing well.
Pelagia, I think, was his put a dollar in the jar bill. So, as our pace car peels off, it is now Challenger who has control. Gets a decent jump on Blake Reynolds, still side by side between La Herbier and Pelagia down there in third as they send it down into turn 1. And a team we haven't mentioned out here, Timu Toika for Bushfink, I'm seeing running down there in the number 46. Seeing if those Bushfink guys can handle the ovals. Not on the restart, apparently. That loses him a number of positions.
Little Train got real close to him there, and Toika had to take evasive action. Nice job keeping it going straight.
I think that orange car got
guys battle for the lead.
Look at this.
Blake Reynolds got underneath Christian Challenger. Challenger trying for the over-under on the backstretch, down into 3, sticks his nose in. Can he carry the speed? We've seen a number of drivers struggle to make the pass on the low side. Reynolds probably knows that. I'm guessing he took his spare car at this point, so that thing is probably clean side by side as they cross the line. But it's going to be by 2/100ths Reynolds who leads that lap. Carrying that momentum up high, the number 66, keeping a nose ahead for now, Sean.
For now, maybe not for long.
I think, Sean, the racing we're seeing right now might not be anything close to what we're seeing when we get to the green checker flag in 35 laps.
Look at these two.
They are working them hard.
Yeah.
Door to door for at least 2.5 laps now. And they're still 1.3 ahead of Pelagia.
Pelagia's back there saying, you just go, boys.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe he's saving his stuff watching this, thinking this will come back to me pretty soon. Still nobody giving up. Still Reynolds on the high side.
No.
And as we watch this, I pointed out Challenger Racing from UK&I. We should mention both these drivers competing for the Pacific region. Challenger has elected to run all the way for the West Coast instead of out in the European area.
It's that cat burglar theory. It's racing in the middle of the night when he races.
Well, at least for this one, it's not quite the middle of the night.
Yeah, he gets a little bit of a reprieve.
Might even get a shot to hit the pub before this one's over. So, you know what? Isn't this the type of driving, though, you expect that out of a couple of pro drivers? I mean,
Sean, is Challenger using up more of the rubber force to race that low line, or does you think Charlotte it doesn't matter that much?
You know what? In theory, maybe he is, but I'll tell you what, if he set that thing up just right, okay, maybe not quite as much. Honestly, his car seems to be very, very comfortable down there. The converse of that is, so does Blake Reynolds' car seems to be very, very comfortable in that middle groove.
And apologies to the rest of the fields for focusing on this for so long, but they've been side to side this whole time we focused. And take a look at this, though. We said that it would come back to Balaja. Well, look at that number 37 down the backstretch. What was about a second and some has now cut down to 4/10. We could see a three-way fight for the lead here.
Well, the RBA is taking a spot now, getting by Mike Kelly. I'm sorry, not by Kelly, but my bad. Le RBA getting everybody mixed up here. Fun Horse, that's what I meant to say, Joe. Fun Horse was the one who took the position to the bottom, and now these two are kind of in a dead heat around for a couple laps.
Exactly. You can see Kelly behind them in the popcorn position. As nothing's changed up at the front, you can see they're flashing through there momentarily. Challenger still just a nose ahead, but Reynolds not giving up. Oh, and I think that might change soon, because now Challenger is fully ahead, but does he drift it up to the high side and cut him off? No, he does not. Even still, Reynolds cannot get the momentum off the corner. Finally, Challenger is going to solidify his lead. Only took, what, about 7 or 8 laps?
Yeah, but Balaja now pulled into with 4/10 of a second.
But he stalled out at about 3/10 behind them, which surprised me. Not sure what's going on. He has brought along Little Train with him. The number 2, our current champion, is holding steady in 4th position.
So it's Pacific, Pacific, International, Pacific, and Pacific in your top 5.
Oof.
Where's Mike Kelly racing from? Kelly is an Atlantic driver.
The first of the Atlantics, that's something to be proud of down there,
Yeah.
the number 3. Actually, where's our first international? That makes me wonder.
It's, I think King is international. Let me confirm that real quick.
Well, while you're looking at that, we're watching this battle
Yes.
here for the 5th position. All right, King's our highest international. No surprise there, as he is a fast driver. Look at Thunhorst with a run up the high side. Kelly holds it low, tries to hold him off. Can the number 98 carry his speed off the corner? He's starting to lose as he goes the longer way around, but here he goes. Knows that oval race, the number 98, a strong driver here on the circle tracks, and takes away 6th spot.
Yes, he does now. Thunhorst. Oh, and just behind them, Joe, it's even more exciting now. Check this battle out. Timu Toika trying to exploit Fleischle, who continues to back up through the field. And then John King, who we were just talking about there.
Yeah,
King.
Toika seems to have recovered from his little brush with the wall as he's holding 8th for now.
Kalisto was able to get around Balaja, now up into 3rd. And I believe Blake Reynolds' car is beginning to suffer the same effects that happened to him on the first run. He's struggling now. Challenger be able to pull away a bit.
Yeah, that long run is not looking good for the number 66. There's half a second between himself and the UK&I driver. Oh, Fleischle took a look at the 46, and that actually might have cost him as he's falling back now. Didn't have anything major happen, just had a horrible run off the corner, and that allows John King into 9th.
Bringing that number 9, representative of the international region. And it's the number 6. Well, I was looking at...
Wrong
Wait
angle.
a minute. Wait till it gets to the other side of the track. It'll be the 9.
Yeah, you have a 50% chance of being right, Sue.
So does that make Fleischle the number LL?
Yes.
Okay, a little bit further back in the field, Brian Barnes getting passed by Jimbo Pfeiffer, who has decided to get on his horse finally. Got to go catch Mark Herzog and Carl Burke just up in front of him.
There we see this battle down for that 20th spot.
Don't need to go there. I'll just report that King actually did pick up another spot. He's coming. He's up to 8th now. Stay where we are, though. This is some good racing from Jimbo.
Jimbo fending off the 555 for now. having to take his spare car with him being involved with that incident earlier. Now, one interesting thing as we watch this, let's stay on this, but understand that Wolf is making progress forward. He's another driver I expected to be a little bit higher up in this series, Sean.
Yeah, you know what? I think it had everything to do with starting position. He's just not been able to overcome that. I'm a bit surprised to see Wolf this far back, too, to be honest. Now, granted, he's come up 18 spots through the field, but cracking the top of this field, it just seems a little bit out of reach at this point. Why? Because we've only got 20 laps left, Joe.
Well, he's got another one, because there goes the 46 Toyka. I believe from the Euro split is looking like he's going to be demoted. No, he's going to fight back.
Eddie Hawk's looking for somewhere to put his beak in there.
Oh, but he drifts up, and that's going to prevent him from hawking that position. So, Teemu Toyka still fighting away with Josh Wolf. Down to that low side, trying to make it work. So many drivers just want that low line to work. And as this is happening, I understand that Pelagia losing positions now down to 6th.
Going away from him. The Herbier's got around him. Thunhorse has got around him.
You have to say, though, for all that people joke about the talent of the Finns on the roadside, this is still a great job from Antti running on an oval. Probably not his main focus on iRacing.
John King picks up another spot. You just got Mike Kelly. Now he's up into 7th.
I know those Workiva guys did a lot of work behind the scenes on these long runs, studying up, figuring out what the cars can do. So we watched Jason Fleischle in a battle with one of the Dog Bear and one of the Workiva cars. Boy, Reynolds has dropped like a rock. What was half a second is over 2 seconds between himself and Challenger. Whoa, and the car hits the wall ahead of Challenger, and he almost gets into the back of him. Who is that? That is Adam McLeod. Ooh, that was close. We might want an onboard from Challenger. He may have made contact. Let's watch the TV cam. I think we missed it on screen a little bit. There's the touch with the wall, and ooh, Challenger has to take evasive action.
He might have got him.
Let's watch from on board that number 78, excuse me.
Give him a listen and tell me I think he might have got a piece of him going by here. Maybe not.
It was awful close. There's about a piece of paper between them. Now, he has held on to the lead, but what was 2 seconds is now 1.5. So he did lose a little bit of time.
Yeah, Joe, he did lose a little bit of time. And, well, could that be opportunity for Blake Reynolds? I think only Blake knows. Maybe Blake is saved enough of those tires right now, running out by himself in the clean air. And maybe he's got one last gasp left in him here. I think he can go get him. Blake, I'm looking at the car. He does have a little bit of front end damage. I don't know where he might have picked that up. He might have wrapped the wall on the right front at one point, but
pass for 3rd.
I think he's got a shot here.
Leherbier and Callisto. Leherbier looking on the low side. Man, they have traffic. Are we going to go 3 wide? Poor Callisto is going to get bottled up. And great strategic move by the Canadian.
Yeah, Leherbier set that up really well, Joe.
No concerns about being polite there. Just knew that he would have a pick. And the number 027 gets himself onto the podium. Bill, I have to ask, though, after the incredible performance from last season from Reynolds, who would have thought that we'd see someone schooling him, and especially on an oval?
Yeah, but look who's teaching class. It's Christian Challenger. I mean, if I had to pick anybody who could do it, that might be the guy. Although on the oval, Joe, you make a good point about that one. I just don't think Reynolds' car is just working on the long run.
No, and Sean, to your point about, Reynolds may be having something for him. If he does, he's got to turn it up now and get going because I believe 11 laps to go now.
That is correct. And where there was about a second and a half, it's now turned into almost 3 seconds.
Yeah, it would take some incredible pace for him to overcome that.
John King now up to 6th. Joshua Wolf, remember we talked about him making his way through the field. He's up to 7th. We got a replay on Brian Barnes.
Let's see what happened to the Northwest bright blue machine. He's looking at possible 3 wide here. Oh, there's that turn for trickiness once again as he mows the grass and recovers back onto the track with a position or 2 lost. Meanwhile, Hawks continues to snipe to P8 up here.
Yeah, just behind Hawks, is that, that was Anti-Pelagia. Okay, yeah, bringing Pelagia along with him. It was a lap car Pelagia had to get by there.
Sean, we're getting to the point now where the decision has been made with that maybe you don't stop now. If a yellow were to come out with only 9 to go, this would be a tough call.
Yeah, I don't know.
Battle for 4th right now. This Callisto and Thunhurst underneath them.
This is battle between teammates.
You got to tell me how many laps you got left before I make that decision, to be honest with you. You got to ensure that you're able to fight through traffic to get back to the front.
Certainly would be a tough call. This is the longest run we've seen the drivers go on now that they've hit this point. This is about when we started to see a number of fast drivers lose it on the exit of corners. So who has saved their stuff for the end? And can anybody avoid spinning out here in these last few laps, causing it to end under caution?
I think Dunhorst and Callisto are going to go at it.
And we see him on screen. Yeah. They are close. The 98 keeps poking his nose in down low.
And I'm telling you, the guy who is coming with the royal wedding happening, what a good day for John King. He's on his way.
Looking to crack into the top 5. And if these two start going side by side, that is going to reel him in at a rate of knots. The number 2, last season's champion, still holding on to P4 here today. Ooh, and I think, did I see the Thunhorse get a little slideways coming off of 4?
Yeah, he's working hard and the tires are not cooperating.
Well, even if he's caught him, now he's got to use up what's left of those tires, and I think he's got a little bit here. Down low under the number 2. Thunhorst gets himself into 4th momentarily. Callisto fights back. Using that high side right up to the edge of the wall. The safer barriers flirting with the metal of that car. And still, he's not given up. 5 laps to go now.
Now, Sean, are we at the point of no return? If a yellow were to come out, are we done? Car on the wall. Le Herbier is on the wall.
He tries to get it down low. This is from just ahead of these drivers. He's very slow out on track. That's a lap car Banfield behind him. Here come the leaders. Position starting to be lost. Oh, and he swipes the wall yet again. Le Herbier, who was looking at a podium, you'll see on the replay, sees it all fall apart in the dying laps.
That's the Blake Reynolds syndrome, I think. The car just wouldn't go. And meanwhile, King gets past Le Herbier, and now King makes a move.
Oh, watch out! Wolf has got to get on the brakes. Sorry about that, guys. Le Herbier still struggling with the car, and Joshua Wolf, with a head of steam, has to lock him up practically in the middle of the straightaway.
And that was because Andy Banfield was still there. Basically, the two of them causing a logjam on the road. Meanwhile, we're watching the battle for 4th. John King looking at a podium now. I said top 5. He says, I want more than that. And he's got more than that as he demotes Lionel Callisto.
Sean, I don't think these tires go away. I think they elope. They're suddenly gone.
And I'll tell you what, Bill, we talked about, can International represent? John King is answering your question.
Yeah, great run.
Absolutely.
White flag is going to come out, but there is a ton of traffic ahead of Challenger. Can he manage this for one lap? Reynolds nowhere near him. The bigger question is if Challenger can stay out of trouble with these slower cars on horrible tires. This is the car of Baker and Barnes just ahead of him. He's going to stay low. They got another slow car ahead of him. That's McLeod. Oh, barely sneaks through.
And he's really slowing down, but he's got such a big cushion.
Yeah, he's trying to stay out of this mess, and they're going 3 wide ahead of him. This is exactly what he does not need. But as he comes off the corner, the answer to who is the best in the world, it's going to be Christian Challenger here for the All-Star race in the 2018 Majors. The fireworks fly. Reynolds is going to take a respectable second. Thunhorst, how about this guy? I haven't talked a lot about the performance he does. He completes the podium.
Wow.
King gets 4th. Oh, let's go to 11th right now. A car that is fading. Here comes Carl Burke at the line. Not going to be able to get there. Palaja gets 10th. Burke gets, let's see, Palaja's going to get 11th. Burke gets 12th.
Where did Leherbier wind up? He was in 3rd when he had his incident. Oh, he actually had to come into the pit lane. Oh.
That's going to drop him all the way down to 25th, Joe. That's where I've got him right now.
Oh, goodness. That is not what that performance deserved today. Well, regardless, we're going to take a quick break here on the Global Sim Racing channel. We'll come back with the unofficial results as well as driver interviews. Stick around because on screen, you're going to see all the upcoming races here on the Global Sim Racing channel as we watch the Kinetic Pacific driver of Christian Challenger burn it down. Well, we were wondering who would be able to come out on top here when you combined the top drivers in each of the regions. here at Charlotte Motor Speedway? Well, the answer was Christian Challenger, hailing from the Pacific region, even though he's UK and I driver, but a black stripe oval driver takes the win here. The number 78 outran Blake Reynolds, and by a huge margin, at least in oval terms. At the end, it was 5.6, but it would have been bigger than that. But Challenger backed up to keep out of trouble on the last lap. Matthew Thunhorst with a relatively quiet run up the third, although he had some good battles in the middle of the race. In the end, he was mostly by himself. John King from the international region. How about this? In fact, the first driver, I'm pretty sure, not from the Pacific region. So that tells you something about the talent over there. They may not have as many drivers, but they've got some fast ones. John King finishing fourth, with Lionel Callisto getting a top 5. Josh Wolf finishing behind him in 6th. Eddie Hawks coming home in 7th, with Jason Fleischle in 8th. Ray Partridge takes P9, and Mike Kelly for the Atlantic region rounds out the top 10.
Now, because of all the great action up front, we get to some of the names we didn't get to cover as much as we would have liked to. In 11th position is Antti Laja. In 12th, Carl Burke. Right behind him in the Baker's Dozen spot, Thomas Peterson. Timo Toika went from 12th to 14th. Up 4 spots, Pete Herod into 15th position. Jimbo Pfeiffer picked up 8 spots to finish in the Sweet 16 spot. Marcus Niskanen in 17th. He qualified 6th. He's going to come home in 18th on the lead lap. Stephen Baxter, Mark Herzog in 19th. Rounding out your 20th position is Kurt Crum. Sean?
All right, Soup. And then we go down to 21st. It's Brian Barnes. David Baker, going to finish 22nd. Marco Penttinen, 23rd. Joshua Kanata, 24th. 25th, Vincent Labriere is where he is going to wind up. That's just crushing for him. David Bearclaw, 26th. 27th, Andy Banfield. Adam McLeod, 28th. Andre Rajkovic is going to finish 29th. 30th, going to go to Brandon Whitworth. Jake Fox in 31st. And 32nd, Kevin O'Keefe, early casualty.
So with that, we have second place waiting in the wings to talk to us, Christian Challenger. And, we did. Blake Reynolds. Christian Challenger won. I was looking at the wrong thing on there. Blake Reynolds in second today. Blake, it was clear that you had a fast car, but talk to us about those long runs that seemed to be the Achilles heel today.
Oh, yeah. The setup I was working on all week was just, it looked good on the short run. But unfortunately, I never got that long stretch there that I wanted to work on. And also, this is the set that I'm running this Tuesday in the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing series. So I was writing down notes for my actual guys over there, and obviously we need to work on this a bit.
Yeah, it certainly seems so. Tell us about the side-by-side battle you had after that first restart with Christian Challenger. I lost count. It was something like 7 or 8 laps. You were door to door. Were you not willing to give it up on that one?
Well, I was trying to put on a good show, You
did. We were loving it.
Yeah. Well, after that first run, that high side or that bottom groove got pretty greasy. So on that restart, the track cooled down, and then that outside kind of came in a little bit. So I thought, why not just hold it and pinch, Christian, and just make it interesting. Then was it Antti that was catching us? Yeah. I think. Yeah, he was starting to catch us, but then all of a sudden we just pulled away again, and then my car died. After I got that huge slide down the front stretch, after I hit the wall, I made a huge swing at it, and it kind of worked, and that's why I was able to keep up with Christian a bit, but obviously in the long run, I need to work on it more.
Yeah, unfortunate to see. Even still, second place shows you are still a contender. We hope to see you tomorrow night in the 600.
Yeah, I'll be there. Starting P1, I think. No, I haven't checked. I don't know. All right, I'll see you guys then.
All right, sounds good to me. Now, that was Blake Reynolds' second place driver, and first place Christian Challenger is going to be joining us. Bill, would you like to talk to our winner for today?
Sure, I'll talk to him. Christian, congratulations on the win. Let's go right to tires. On that long stint, on the second stint, do you have to save them, or how does that work?
Honestly, it's just all set up. There's been like a huge effort behind this setup for this week because we we kind of expect this to be the last sort of. It's really built around the peak race, to be completely honest with you, and we kind of expect that this is going to be the last week where this huge camber gain stuff really works. So I was kind of not really happy with my Kansas car for the peak race. We ran good, finished 6th, but felt like there was some areas we could gain in, and then really just put a huge effort around working around that. And it's all the long run pace is just all set up because, I mean, you saw what happened with Blake. He has the same ultimate pace starting out, but he just gets too loose, and that's really the biggest deal. And that's honestly what you could tell that everybody was struggling with. When they lose the speed, it's all long run pace, and it's all down to setup. I really can't claim all that much as a driver, to be quite honest with you.
Well, you had to do a little bit of driving there. Coming to the checkered flag, you were well out in front, but you got yourself into some traffic, and it looked like he finally said, I don't want any part of this, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I had that kind of moment on, I think it was about lap 55 when I caught up to a lapped car, and I nearly ended my night early, but then kind of when I saw everybody out front, like this huge pack of cars with about 3 to go. And I sort of started moving my way through them, and then I kind of figured that there was not really anything to be gained by it, and I just decided I was going to drop back and sit because I had enough gap to do that.
I think I know the answer to this question, but I'll ask it anyway. Do you enjoy racing the ovals more or the twisty courses?
Really depends on the car. I think I'm better at oval courses personally. But out of all the races this year, my favorite thing still has to be Silver Crown at Phoenix. Like, in terms of pure driving and fun, that was the best car, like, no doubt. Yeah, so I guess I would have to say the oval courses.
Quite a show. All right, well, congratulations. Good luck. Good luck tomorrow, and we'll see you after 600 miles.
Could I just give a quick shout out?
Sure.
Yeah. I said I was going to do this if I ran good enough to end up in the top 5. And that I just do he ain't going to see it because he never watches these. Probably doesn't even know what YouTube is. But I just thought I'd give a shout out to my grandfather. He's having a pretty bad time right now. So hopefully he gets better. And if he does ever see this, well, that'd be cool.
What's his name?
David.
Okay. Grandpa Dave. Good luck, and I hope he's feeling better. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks.
Kristen Challenger. All right, Joe, where are we going?
Well, we've got our 3rd place finisher, Matthew Thunhorst, waiting to talk to Sean about some of his battles there that we did catch on screen.
Yeah, Matt, I'll tell you what, buddy, you put it on the podium there for Alliance. Congratulations.
Yeah, I had a fun run there up through the field, and racing Lionel was pretty entertaining there. And once LaHerbier had his issues, I realized we could go for a podium, and then I saw John King coming, and it's just like, oh no! I'm just super proud of the majors for this race, only having 1 or 2 cautions. I think we put on a great show for the fans.
Oh, absolutely! This was an awesome show. I've got to know though, Matthew, how much work has gone on behind the scenes for you to get ready for this?
I know at least personally, I've done about 1,600 laps just to try to even get close to those peak guys. But they know this car so well. It's so challenging and frustrating to give it everything you got and just to see them drive away from you. But I mean, to even still finish top 5 was good. I mean, especially with all the Rakiva guys. I mean, I'm sure they had what Chalner had, and I'm sure if they were riding shotgun guys, they had what Blake had. So I mean, to go up against some peak sets and at least do well against them was satisfying at least, but we've still got a lot more work to do tonight and tomorrow.
You did that by driving through the field though, Matthew. I mean, dude, you started 22nd today and you hit podium. You talked about the competition and catching the peak guys. Hats off to you, man. That was a hell of a run today.
Yeah, I tried some experimental stuff and just went into this race as a test session and learned some good stuff. Had a lot of good battles. Had a lot of fun. Just pretty satisfying day overall, but we still got more work to do.
So what you're saying is basically this is really, really a big shot of confidence for you heading into the 600 or more.
Yeah, I've been working on the setup probably 2 weeks now, and so Monday I was like, yeah, we're in a good spot, and I kept working on it, and it just kept getting worse to where I'm like, I'm not very confident in this setup. So to come out here, kind of realize a little bit more what we need to do, and realize that a lot of us can hang on and hopefully have a great race tomorrow. Yeah, it's a big shot in the arm.
All right, so if there was one secret about tomorrow's race you could share with us, what would it be? Or I guess it wouldn't be a secret, would it?
I think the most important thing tomorrow, and some of it kind of showed its head today with how hard this build is to drive, is just to survive the first 300, 350 laps. I mean, this setup, in order to be fast, the car is wicked. It is evil, and you hit that 20 to 30 lap range, and it wants to kill you.
Well, hopefully you stay out of the morgue tomorrow, and we get to talk to you again here on the podium. Listen, again, thanks. That was really awesome watching you drive through it all today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Anybody you'd like to thank before we get you out of here?
Just the Alliance guys in general. I know we may not be fortunate enough to have a peak guy with us, but we're trying to always be the best. We've got great competition this year, and those guys in general, Lionel, the boss man, Jason, and the rest of them, they're great drivers. They're a great class to be around, and I'm so thankful ever since I've been in part of the majors that I've been a part of the Alliance squad.
Well, again, thank you, Matthew, and we'll see you tomorrow here on the Global Sim Racing channel. And got anybody else we're going to talk to here real quick?
I believe we have one other team that we'll get to have represented. The Dog Bear team has Ray Partridge coming home in 9th today. Now, Ray, normally going from 32nd on the grid to 9th would merit a lot more screen time from us, but I'm sad to say that we were distracted by the incredible battling with the leaders. So why don't you tell us, how in the world did you gain so many positions?
You guys didn't give me any airtime? Come on.
It was hard fighting for screen time out there. We can tell you that.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know, man. The guys over in Dog Bear, Drew and Wayne, they hooked us up with a really good setup. It was a lot of fun going through traffic, I must say.
Now we've talked. Go ahead.
You're good.
We talked to a lot of the drivers about this, prepping them for the 600. I'm assuming this is a bit of the same for your team, getting just a tiny taste of how things go. Are there any changes that you guys are planning, either strategically or setup wise, because of this run?
I think I can take some information back and share it with Drew and Wayne and the guys, and I'm pretty sure we can make some adjustments on it to make it a little bit better. It had a pretty decent long run speed. I mean, we didn't have we didn't have Challenger and Reynolds speed by any means, but we showed, I think, coming through the field that we can compete.
Absolutely. And speaking of which, obviously, Dog Bear doesn't get mentioned quite as much as some of the top teams that are vying for the team's championship. But you guys have shown that, especially on ovals, you're a force to be reckoned with. What is your team's goal in terms of the team championship this season, as far as final finishing position?
Obviously you'd like to, be in the top 3 or so, but I think if we could get both teams, in the top 5, that'd be, with a couple new teams that were added this year, I think that'd be pretty outstanding.
Well, you guys have been both respectable and have put on a good show out there today. Congratulations on a top 10 here in the All-Star race.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate the interview.
That was Ray Partridge, 9th place. The number 88 brings his Dog Bear Racing Red Machine home after starting way, way back in some of the back rows of this field. So with that, we are going to close up today, and we will be back with more of Charlotte. So if you haven't had enough, you're going to get a lot more of it. But first, let's give a big thank you to Mike Willett and his huge team of workers behind the scenes to make these races go off. Obviously, they have a lot of effort with 4 different regions having races over the courses of weekends. Thanks to the companies that provide the software and hardware for our broadcast listed here on your screen. And additional thanks go out to Eric Heckholm and Casey Lalonde, who provide our wonderful music. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of their great work. Thanks to the team today here in the booth, Amjad, Bill, Sean, and Dougie. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. You can also check us out on social media. We're on Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. Don't forget, head on over to our YouTube page if you've got some time. There's a big red button that says subscribe. Make sure and click that. That way, you'll get all the upcoming races in your YouTube feed, and you won't miss a moment here on the GSRC. The next race, I mentioned it. It is the Sarge's Place 600 back here at Charlotte once again. That'll be Sunday, May 20th, tomorrow night at 7:45 p.m. Eastern. If you can't make it for that split, there's 3 other races that are going to be happening. Both international, Atlantic, and European are going to get their own races over the course of this weekend. We have upcoming races for other series listed on the screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. However, until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.